Good day and welcome to Biafran National Television and Radio, BNTVR, Voice of the Rising Sun, official broadcast station of the state of Biafra. This is the brief, built on truth, courage and discipline. I'm your host, Pointer. On this episode of the brief, I will analyze the address by His Excellency General Innocent ORJI GCSB, Head of State BPG and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the State of Biafra, on the third year Biafran Massacre Remembrance Day held on NKWO Market Day, Thursday, 15 January 2026. The address began with commiserating with every Biafran, both home and abroad, on this stipulated 15 January annually. That is 15 January annually is to remember every massacre, ethnic cleansing, mass murder and violence against the peoples and government of the state of Biafra by the occupying government and terrorist armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in collaboration with their allies. He stated that it's without doubt that the purpose of the heinous crime against the people of Biafra is because of the exercise of our inalienable rights to self-determination, national sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity of the state of Biafra. Emphasizing that the Christian genocide being spoken about in Nigeria is actually a Biafran genocide, whom are the majority of the Christians in the so-called Nigeria. Majority of the Christians in the so-called Nigerians are actually indigenous Biafrans. And those being killed in the northern region of Nigeria are actually indigenous Biafrans, whom are Christians, stating that the redesignation of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as a country of particular concern, CPC, by the United States government in November 2025 is actually a realization that indigenous Biafrans are being persecuted, massacred, and violated because of our way of life. Also spoke about the denials by Most Reverend Matthew Cooker on Sahara Reporter's 30 November publication, the Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia, Premier Times Nigeria on 19 November 2025, Femi Fani-Kayode on Premium Times Nigeria 26 October 2025, and the defunct Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo in the Guardian newspaper 4 November 2025, where they all deny that it's not a Christian genocide. If they have denied that it's not a Christian genocide, then it is a Biafran genocide. Because the publication they spoke through, they all declare that there is no Christian genocide going on. And if there's a denial that there is no Christian genocide going on, then they are trying to obstruct justice and cover up justice for the peoples and government of the state of Biafra. And the questions being answered: whom are the peoples being massacred? What are their origins? The fact that they said it's not a Christian genocide does not stop the fact that people are not being killed. So what the head of state of the Biafran provincial government and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the state of Biafra is asking is, whom are the people who's being massacred? What are their origins? Where did they originate from? They are human beings. They must have a place of birth they came from. And he continued to emphasize that they are actually indigenous Biafrans. He noted that the Convention on the Prevention on and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide described genocide as a crime committed with the intent to destroy a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group in whole or in part, stating specifically that the genocide in Nigeria is against the peoples and government of the state of Biafra and should be called the Biafran genocide and not a Christian genocide. Also recalling that the threat by ISWAP to Christians to convert to Islam or die, which was in the publication of Truth Nigeria on 2nd January 2026, should be taken seriously because it's a direct threat against indigenous Biafra, as the state of Biafra is not an Islamic state, and the Islamic way of life is not the way of life associated with Biafra, as Biafra is our religion. He recalled and commiserated with the victims and survivors of the 1953 Kano riot, the July-August 1966 anti-Igbo pogrom, 7th October 1967 Asaba massacre, 1967-70 Nigerian Biafran Civil War, 24th November 1975 Ugep massacre, 1st November 1990 Umuchim massacre, that is in Ifon River State, 20th November 1999 Odi massacre in Ifon Bayelsa State, 18th February 2006 Muhammad Khartoum crisis, 22nd November 2022 Miss World riot, 29th March 2003 Okigwe massacre, 15th June 2006 Okpoko massacre, 2008 Ezu River massacre, August 2015 Enugu massacre. In the massacre in August 2015 was in Enugu, Yenagua, Uyo, Port Harcourt, Aba Road, and Abraka Asaba. One day, a particular day, this whole massacre happened. The 15th December 2015 Oka and Onitsha Head Bridge massacre. The January 2016 Aba massacre. February 2016 National High School Aba massacre, where people were praying and the Nigerian terrorist forces decided to attack them. They were without weapons. Most of these massacres were massacred against unarmed and defenseless civilians. The 29th to 30th May 2016 massacres in Ogidi, Onitsha, Mbo, and Abraka Asaba during the commemoration of the Heroes Day by indigenous people of Biafra, the civil pro-Biafran group in Ogidi, Onitsha, Mpo, and Abraka, where they were killed. 2017 Donald Trump Solidarity Massacre in Port Harcourt, where defenseless and unarmed civilians were actually calling the attention of Donald Trump to self-determination and the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the IPOB leader, were shot dead, injured. September 2017 massacre in Afaruku, Ogwe, Isialangwa, and Aba. That is when the IPOB leader's home was attacked, and those on their way going to pay solidarity with him were also attacked at Ogwe, Isialangwa, and Aba. The August 2020 MNM Enugu massacre, the October-November 2020 Obibo, which they know as Oyibo massacre. That is when Wike ordered, former governor of the ordered the shutdown of Obibo, and the Nigerian terrorist armed forces went in and began to massacre every young male and female. Some are still in detention till now. The 28th October 2021 Okagwe Ohofia Road massacre, when the Biafran National Guard troop went on a solidarity rally. 2024 Okwama massacre, the 2023 to 2025 massacre in Olu, Uli, Hube, Osun, Eziama, Osumogu, Aku, and Okigwe, and other places still going on till date. Stated as a gross lack of respect to fundamental freedom and human rights, that those who are to be held account are yet to be held or persecuted by the International Criminal Court, even after the Biafran provincial government has sent a lot of petition against them. He acknowledged that never again will the government of State of Biafra tolerate another genocide, massacre, or pogrom, as the Biafran provincial government of the State of Biafra, is working assiduously towards sustaining the full recognition and participation with all rights and privilege the peoples and government of the State of Biafra as the 194th member state of the UN and the 50th nation of the African continent, that is the African Union, which will enable the government to expandate the formal inclusion of the Biafran genocide in the International Record of War Genocide, and also the formal dossier for the victims either dead or surviving. They went ahead to state the inalienable right to self-determination is a core UN principle, upholding the right of the people and the government of the State of Biafra to determine our political, economic, and social structures from our cultures, indigenous worship, traditions, histories, and philosophies, especially our right to our land, territories, and resources for livelihood. In commemoration of the victims, he stated, "Forever in our hearts are the memories of the victims and survivors of the numerous massacres since 1953 till date." That is the conclusion of the address by His Excellency, General Innocent ORJI, GCSB, Head of State, PPG and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the State of Biafra, on the third year Biafran Massacre Remembrance Day on NKWO Market Day, Thursday, 15 January 2026, which brings to conclusion this episode of The Brief, built on truth, courage, and discipline, on Biafran National Television and Radio BNTVR, Voice of the Rising Sun, official broadcast station of the State of Biafra. I'm your host, Pointer. Take care.
Ndoshi na welebe, we losing behind your mede. We thought they came for good, but they for local fanete. They know we are the best food, na kuka fanege. Follow informati religion where then alliance. Kobi we pulon na mochi and return kanya mefe. Depend my paper pass through, so I can benebe. Obule gundagu motemu kega dege. They turn my lady then to slave and down the major. Okogu kano nebe, Madiana gapaleze. Kandato laga na katinyana nga kozulede. I won't forget the painful stories that my grandpa told me. Sometimes I want to let it go, but the pain they hold me. I swear my mind is fucking cold, I swear my heart is frozen. They get to know return, I swear you gonna once you goes in. Oh, you go keep that distance, today a Merry Christmas.